Oh, I saw that. I got alerted to people re-uploading my videos on other financial channels and stuff. So I'm gonna have to put a copyright notice. And I don't care if you share my videos or put them on blogs or something, but as long as it's coming off of my channel, you don't re-upload it. But yeah, I guess the easy thing is to steal somebody else's stuff, right? Anyway. But, to tell you the truth, I really don't like doing these silver videos as much as a lot of other stuff, but I realize there's a need for it because I'm telling you the straight scoop on things. Something could actually just go too high and price itself right out of the market. No matter how much silver is worth or whatever should be worth or whatever, it could still price itself out of the market. There's always that thing called demand destruction. I always put these videos on the bottom of my in my information box about. I really like that one with Sam Zell's words of wisdom. It's right off of his simple words of wisdom. The guy's all right. He's trying to share with you, what he did. He's not a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad guy. So anyway, actually, I have a little pet peeve. I just want to get onto something here too. Actually, it's not a pet peeve. It's a major peeve. I really don't like a lot of the desk jockeys. To tell you the truth, I think they're little worms. A lot of them are. I could talk very professional if I have to. Depends on what environment I'm in. I notice people that are actually professionals. A lot of times they're the biggest backstabbing wimps going. And the more money they make, a lot of times they could even be worse. But they're totally owned by their wives to the max. Oh, I've always seen this pretty much with professionals. And maybe they're not owned by their wives, but in that case, they're one of these screw-around types. But they're weasels. They're weasels. So I know a lot of times people are going on YouTube, they're looking for financial information. What do we do? We know that the debt is going bad with the U.S. government. It's going bad with the Japanese government. It's going bad with all the European governments. It's like, we know that they're basically going to cause so much debt that all the governments are going to have to be bailed out by a world financial authority eventually. Yeah, that's probably true. I always state, physical silver is almost like akin to what the blue-collar worker does. The blue-collar worker stays real. This is where I'm different from a lot of these people in the financial world. The blue-collar worker stays real because he makes things that are actually of real value to people. That's why you want to stick in with real metals, because real metals are something that has real tangible value, not something that you're looking at an electronic screen or a piece of paper. Now, I understand that, I'm not going to say that all paper is going to go to zero or all electronic money is going to go to zero. What I'm saying is there could be so many Ponzi scams out there in the electronic and paper world that you really don't know what the underlying value is. The electronic representation or the paper representation is not the underlying asset. That's just a convenient way that we can exchange something or show ownership of something or show title to something. So, it's like it's not. But the thing is, when you have these things where you have electronic and financial paper instruments, you can create these Ponzi schemes where there isn't much electronic, or there isn't much actual real tangible assets that are underlying what is in there. And that's the case with silver and gold. There's supposedly trillions and trillions of ounces of silver and gold that are been sold that are on electronic or paper that are in people's hands, and there's nothing to really back up all that stuff. So we shall see what's going to happen eventually with the physical price of gold and silver. I think it's going to go way up. Now, I saw recently that the price of oil has been going down. I'm like, I kind of wanted to go up, so I'd unload it, but I need it to go up quite a bit because I've been holding double leverage a long time. And but I tend to think it's going to super spike, and I'll unload it at one time and make out there. I'll be protected in that way. But oil went down is because the problem with ISIS has been kind of taken care of in some ways, because unexpectedly from another source, because the Syrian government has basically seen that ISIS was violating Syria's borders left and right and moving in and out, and they did airstrikes against ISIS because it's like, hey, this is our country, this is our government. You're not running over here like it's some other entity. get the hell out. So they did airstrikes on them, and that sent them back a little bit. And that actually caused the price of oil to retreat a little bit. But, it's hard to say. I think, still the policy is to get rid of, the Syrian regime. And when that happens, well, I really do think the policy of the oil baron elites in this country is to destabilize the hell out of the Middle East to drive up oil prices. And basically, it's like, hey, I didn't have nothing to do with it, right? They'll be saying, oh, it happened over there. And of course, religious radicals gives another cause to have a one world religion, because we can't have religious differences because it creates problems or something. And they got it all figured out, man. They got all kinds of games going on. So it's fairly simple, but it's fairly simple to see what the plan is. You don't need to buy a DVD. Not at all. But like I said, I like putting out, common sense type things. But I feel there's a need to put out some of these type of financial type things, because it's not for everybody, because some people just gravitate to giddy rumors and drama left and right, and it's not really that simple. It's not really that way. I'm just not going to put out that type of stuff, and I'm not going to be selling you tangy juice to buy because when the world comes down, I'm going to sell you. There's all kinds of people doing that, putting links on it. Any link I actually put on any of my videos with, I put down as Spooky 2. I like this thing. I buy it myself. I don't sell it. I have nothing financially connected to it. If I put a link on something, that I think is a good product, that I think when I evaluate it, it was good, I'm not getting any financial connection to that. Not doing that at all. I'm not playing that kind of game. So, I just want to put out, though, that, when things do, we do have some upheaval, because I put something out of yesterday about Dick Cheney alluding to a terrorist attack or something that's going to be worse than 9/11 sometime in the near upcoming years or something, or whatever the hell it is. Not next week or even next year. He's saying within the next decade, but it could be in a couple of years. I don't really know. Coming from him, I'm like, wow, that's a big deal. But when that happens, who the hell knows where it's going to happen? You imagine what that's going to do to the financial markets? Wow, man. Talk about upheaval. Maybe we'll have a down. I'm guessing on this, but I think I'm guessing, but the guess is based upon how I think the elite think. I think they try to move events according to astrology and also even religious predictions. That's what I think they try to do. And astrology is telling us, the 4 blood moons usually means that's another upcoming change for Israel, and with the blood moons, there could be tensions in the Middle East. That could mean, it could mean also the cycles on a Hebrew calendar, the 7 years. I've talked about this every time on this videos. I always put this out. But September 2015, if we estimate that right, it'll be the middle of the next financial crash. But you remember, things can go up, and they go down a lot faster. But September 2015, I'm guessing, is the middle of the next financial crash. Now, what Dick Cheney's telling us, that sometime within the next decade there could be a terrorist attack. Well, let's say we have the next financial crash, and it's in September 2015, and we don't have a terrorist attack in 2015. We don't have one in 2014. He's saying over the next decade. It might be several years down the road during the next cycle. I don't know, 2018, 2019, and that's when a terrorist attack occurs. And it's a false flag. What else is new, right? Coming from Dick Cheney, it's not a big stretch to think it's a false flag, okay? I mean, that's not really delving down the conspiracy theory hole too far. But that might be when it happens. And we might have that's when you might see, if you got silver, wow, who the hell knows where it could go. Because, you might be, if we actually had a terrorist attack in this country where there was something like, I don't know what the hell could happen, but say, part of the infrastructure, the grid is screwed up, and interrupts services that are vital banking services, and you can't get online, and they could screw things up. So that's where you want to invest your money, not just in silver, but physical food, physical energy, physical anything you possibly need. So what I say is, like, during this next time, if silver does indeed take off like a rocket during the same pattern like it did 2010 to early 2011, I'm suspecting that that's going to be September this year, 2014, say around April, May of 2015 is going to be the next rocket up on silver. I may be wrong, but it's what I'm suspecting. And, if it does happen, silver, if it gets too far ahead of itself, it corrects like crazy. What I'm going to do, I'm going to even dump some of the physical. It depends on how high it goes. What do you buy? Does that mean you stuff cash or whatever? Maybe you keep some cash. But, I always said you just want to buy things that you will use in the future, or some hard capital asset that you can get a lot of life out of. Maybe you need a new car, maybe you need new furniture, maybe you need renovations in your kitchen. I don't know. Anything, right? You might want to do that and look for the best deal, something that, you can use for many years. That's something that you're going to have to spend money on pretty soon anyway. Do that. So, and I also want to leave you with this thought. In today's day and age, it doesn't pay to be dedicated to your employer. I almost hate to say this, but it's true. It's like, the harder you work for these guys, and this is a fact. This is actually a fact. They've shown this, where people stick with one employer more than 2 years. Actually, when you got a hard recessions coming up and they're doing cutbacks, you'll never get raises. They'll actually, the guy that you're working for has to have his money, and they got to get it out of you. You know what I mean? So actually, it's probably scarier to be an entrepreneur or switch jobs or whatever like that, things like that. But, if you're a real worker bee and you really, really work hard, you might be better off doing that than trying to support some, working for the same place. Because what happens is you just wind up supporting them. I'll give that to you as financial advice. But, be careful when you make your next move, though. But a lot of times that's the case, especially in a recessionary type economy, which is what we're in. We're not actually in a boom economy, despite what you're talking about. We're not. Like, maybe you don't want to do that, and maybe you shouldn't, but, you want to be very careful what your next move is. But every time when there's this recessionary economy, you have to actually produce more than what your employer pays you. And it's like, in order to do that in a recessionary economy, he ain't going to want to take the cut. He's going to want to get it out of your ass. So, a lot of times people bitch about, the self-employed people and all this. It's tougher, but if you're a true workaholic, you're probably better off being self-employed. I'll put that out here because, it's like thinking outside the box. I know, like, in the financial world, the most successful people that are like into the professional type of people, they got some of the worst scruples in the world. I can tell you that right now. They're bad news. And I'm putting out these videos because I realize that most people in the metals are going to get set up eventually. Not right now, but later on. They're going to get set up. The Wall Street sharks aren't going to be buying silver at exorbitantly high prices. It's going to be the middle class that will be told that the sky is falling to oblivion. I know it. That's why I'm not afraid to sell someone later on. You say, I know people are going to be bitching me out left and right saying, hey, you need to take fiat. Well, you have to take fiat at the point of sale. That's just how it is. But I do know what the sharks are going to do. And, they're going to screw the blue-collar worker over as much as possible. That's what they're going to do. So, I don't know. I'm giving you a straight scoop on here. So, how high is high? That's a good question. But, if something breaks, if silver broke through 50, I think it's going to go quite a bit over 50, maybe to 60 or maybe to 75 even. But it ain't going to go, I know if it went up to 50, I know what they're going to say. They say 100. I personally, I'm not betting on that. I'm not going to throw it all away. I'm not going to sell all of it. But I'm expecting something coming up here pretty soon. You know, this guy, Pastor Lindsey Williams, is selling 2 TVDs now, so maybe there's something coming up because, you know, we can sell 4 of them when things go up. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like professionals. I told you that. Right now, I'm going to go get another tire for my Sebring convertible. I'm going to change the other side. I'm going to use my manual tire changer. I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to go fix the handle on the lawnmower. It broke it, you know, the handle. You know, I'm going to weld it up or something, put something in there. I'm not going to buy another one. I'm going to fix it. That's just how it is, man. You know, I'm not going to play this freaking game. And you know, I could throw you all kinds of factoids out here about silver. People like the charts and the graphs. That's the type of stuff I used to have to do for to get the bank to bite on a loan, or I had to do that for a client to make something look a certain way. I can make anything look any way. You know, I know these games, man. You can make anything look good or bad with real numbers, real statistics, and real charts. Just use common sense, man. It freaking goes a lot further. But I don't want the blue-collar worker getting ripped off by these professional desk jockeys. I don't like them. I really don't like them. They talk cute. They got the tie. I used to always wear the tie all the time. All the time, man. Wear ties all the time. Suits and all this other garbage. I don't like these guys. They're jerks. I could play the game. But I always had a real streak in me, you know. But, you know, the difference between me and a lot of those other guys, I work a lot harder. I know it. And, you know, I don't need to enrich them. So to hell with it. That's the way I look at it. So I'll always be honest no matter what. I don't give a shit, even if it hurts me. I'll be honest. That's all how it is. That's just how it is. But just watch out for these clowns when they come up with... you know, the sky's falling. I don't think the dollar's going to oblivion. We're going to have a lot of inflation, but we're not going to have Zimbabwe inflation in the United States. I don't think so. Because you got to remember, the powers that be are paying all these people to protect them. Could you imagine the Secret Service with Obama, or Bloomberg with his people, his guards, or Hillary Clinton with her guards, and Romney with his guards and whatever the hell they have, or Alex Jones with his security forces? If all of a sudden whatever they got paid in was worthless, they'd abandon them, right? That's why I know the money's not going to zero. Okay, little common sense, huh? The elite would know if their money went to zero, they're screwed too. We're just gonna have a lot of inflation. So silver's going to partly protect you, but silver's not going to go like this with inflation. It's going to go, and go, psh, psh. It's just the way it is. Don't be afraid to sell it on, and try to guess the peaks. You know, I'm not going to dump all of it. I'm going to dump some of it. It's exactly what I'm going to do. Anyway, over and out.